So a while back we had Kristi Burke here on the channel. She is Jezebel Vibes here on YouTube. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you go check out her channel and check out her content. She was actually asked to leave and kicked out of a Republican town hall meeting here in Tennessee when she went to a town hall meeting with her representative, Diana Harshbarger. And she was removed from that meeting. We're going to take a look back now at this clip for those of you who haven't saw these videos. I'm going to show you this clip, and then we're going to talk about what's going on today with Kristi Burke and Diana Harshbarger. Take a look at this.
These young women will never win another championship or get another scholarship because biologically you're born a man or a woman.
No, intersex people exist. Intersex people exist. Do intersex people exist? Do intersex people exist? Do intersex people exist? Do intersex people exist? My daughter's a doctor. Do intersex people exist?
Listen,
yes or no?
are you changing from one sex to another?
Or intersex is not changing.
I'm not going to address the issue.
You brought it up.
Okay? No, I'm answering this question.
I'm going to respectfully ask you to walk this way, please.
10 times stronger.
You're going to kick me out for asking her to answer a question.
Yes, let's walk this way.
You're going to kick me out for asking her to answer a question that she won't answer?
Well, let's walk this way.
Everybody else is yelling. Why do I have to leave?
And now
You
she
have been
can't
causing
even-
a scene since you got here.
Everybody's been causing a scene.
Well, step out, let's walk.
Because she was paralyzed because of the hit that
Come on.
he gave her.
Let's
That
go.
is unsafe. I'm not going to back up on my
Grab your
decision
stuff,
to
let's
support Title IX.
Are you serious? Everybody is yelling.
Grab your stuff and let's go.
I hope that the president will take
For asking the congresswoman if intersex people exist. I want to know if intersex people exist.
her at 12:30.
She asked if
I want to know if intersex people exist, and she won't answer the question.
ask people out here.
I appreciate you all showing up, whether you like my answer or
Do
whether
you,
you
is this?
Congresswoman, we have one more.
Okay,
Get up.
we got one more question.
Are you kidding me? No. Are you kidding me?
She didn't do anything.
I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I asked a question. I asked a question. I want my water bottle in there.
I'll bring it.
Thank you.
So that was about 3 months ago in Tennessee, and since then it's been a whole lot harder to get into these Republican town halls. Many of them now are having Republican only or invite only because they do not want a voice of dissent to show up. They want to continue to be able to create this narrative that, well, Donald Trump won and we have control of everything, so our ideas are what's popular with the American people. But folks, it's just not true. More and more people around this country are starting to wake up to what's going on, and they're starting to realize it because it's finally starting to come back and bite them. And I really hate that it has to come to that point. I hate that we always have to get to the point where it hurts someone before they wake up and realize, but unfortunately, that's where we are. And more people in Tennessee are starting to wake up to it, and they're starting to get out more and speak out more because they're fed up with it. And so that's why Republicans have been tightening the lid and saying, nope, you're Republican only or invite only, or let's have it over here at the Cotton Eye Joe's and not tell anyone we're going to do it. Whatever they can do to try to keep people out that's going to disagree with them. But Kristi is not one to back down. She's one that's going to go out there and put in the work. So what does she do? She confronts Diana again, and this time it's over Diana's votes to cut Medicaid and Snap. And so I'm not at all shocked at how Diana responds to this. I'm almost sure you can pretty much predict it. But let's take a look at this and then hear Kristi explain it.
About 30 minutes ago, I confronted my Congresswoman Diana Harshbarger about her vote for the largest cuts to Medicaid and Snap in the history of the United States. And I had heard she was going to be at this Republican speaking event, and so I showed up hoping I could get her on record speaking about her policies or defending them, and this is what happened.
Go.
Stay with my purse. Diana, why did you vote to take Medicaid and SNAP benefits from kids in District 1? Why do you want kids to go hungry? Why do you want kids to go hungry? Why did you vote to take Medicaid and SNAP? I take your silence as a stance that you don't care about the people of District 1. You don't care about them, Diana. You don't care.
It is no surprise to me that Diana had nothing to say, and I fully anticipated that. But notice how she smiles at me as I talk about the fact that she is taking away healthcare and food from the children of her district, and the fact that she does not care about the people of her district. And she smiles because she knows that she doesn't care, and she knows that it doesn't matter because she's in the position that she's in, and she has the power, and she thinks that she is above scrutiny or judgment. But I think it's really important that we keep reminding our lawmakers, reminding those in office who they work for, and of the Constitution that they swore an oath to uphold. And if you didn't know about this, the GOP is currently trying to issue the largest cuts to Medicaid and Snap in the history of the United States. There are going to be millions of people, including millions of children, that will go hungry because of these cuts and because of this bill if it passes Senate. So we have lawmakers in Congress who are actively trying to cut food from hungry kids. And the only reason they're doing this is because they have to pay for Trump's 2017 tax cuts, which would have expired if they hadn't decided they wanted to keep those tax cuts going. And those tax cuts benefit the top 1%. They benefit the most wealthy people in the United States. They benefit corporations. And in order to pay for those tax cuts, we have to take money from somewhere. And so Diana and others in the GOP have decided that the place to take money from to fund tax cuts for their corporate donors is literally from the mouths of children.
Folks, I'm just going to cut right to the bottom line in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin. The bottom line here is Diana Harshbarger doesn't actually work for the people of Tennessee. She is there for Donald Trump, his billionaire buddies, and their best interest. And she does not care what happens to her constituents. You saw right there, she laughed in her face. She thought it was funny. I can't imagine being that bold. I can't imagine going in and cutting benefits that I knew was going to hurt children and I knew was going to hurt working families. And then someone comes at me to ask me a question about that. Even if I realized, hey, you know what? This is an opposing voice. They're coming to ask me why I did this. I would at least try to give the typical bullshit politician answer. You know what I mean? Half the time, at least some of them will just give you the typical run-of-the-mill bullshit politician answer that we're always used to hearing. But at least she could have did that. She couldn't even do that. All she had to do was laugh and keep going because she does not care. They do not care about you. And I will keep trying so hard to drive this point home to the people in Tennessee because I was born there. I grew up right across the state line in Kentucky, but I've been back in Tennessee for the last 25, 26 years. Tennessee is my home and always will be, and I love the people there. And there are a whole lot of good, hardworking people there that rolls up their sleeves and goes to work every day. But they have been duped into believing that a billionaire who never walked down a dirt road in his life, never had sweat on his brow or one callus on his hands, didn't really even know how to put that coal mining hard hat on, by the way, when he put it on. He looked like OJ trying to get the glove on, puts it on, gives his thumbs up. I had both middle fingers up in there at that guy because I saw what he was doing, which was exploiting our people. And that's all that these carpetbaggers have ever done that has came down south. They've always carpetbagged and always manipulated people to vote against their own interests. And Diana Harshbarger did not. She doesn't give a shit what the Constitution says, and she doesn't care what her constituents are going through. She cares about what Donald Trump says and what his agenda is, and she's going to push it, and she's going to laugh in the face of anyone who dares to ask her a question. But so many people back home needs to really wake up and understand that this is bigger than you realize. This is not about Elon cutting fraud, waste, and abuse. This is about him cutting your lifeline, cutting the very thing that keeps you afloat. So many people in your family now are struggling and have been for years, and the only thing keeping them afloat are these benefits, and now they're just laying waste to it. Under this guise that they're keeping you safe, under this guise that they're protecting you from fraud, waste, and abuse. They are the fraud, they're the waste, and they're the abusers. And don't ever forget that. They done a masterful job of painting the Democrats as the evil, villain in the story. And Democrats definitely didn't do their part. They really didn't connect with the working class the way that they should. I'm never going to let them off the hook and say that they didn't. But they were, for over 40 years, up against nothing but a propaganda machine that when Donald Trump got it in his hands, he just pushed the accelerator all the way down, and they drove it on home. And now they've got everybody convinced that they're working for them, but they're not. And they will laugh in your face. When I saw that, her laughing at Kristi, I thought, it's no different really when Trump said to them, I don't care about you, I just need your vote. That should be the entire Republican Party's platform from here on out. That should be their catchphrase. Forget pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that garbage that they used to set and spew. They never meant it. And we always knew back then that they didn't mean it. It was just a catchy catchphrase. Well, they went from pull yourself up by your bootstraps to I don't care about you. I just need your vote. And I always know that. These people do not give a shit about you. And you can hate on that Democrat all day long, and I can get as pissed off at them as you do from time to time. But they're still the one that's going to go to bat for you. They're still the one that's going to come closer to going to bat for you, and you're going to be better off than you're going to be under this clown and his cabinet, his circus of a cabinet. They're laying waste to everything that was ever held sacred in this country. But luckily we have people like Kristi Burke that's willing to stand up to it and face it. And we have to. We have to meet this moment and we have to speak to this moment. And I don't mean to quote Trump when I say this. If we don't, we're not going to have a country.